What's up, everyone? Jeremy Majors here with Majors Academy Dog Training out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. And this is Thirsty Thursdays, episode 50. That's right, this is our 50th episode of Thirsty Thursdays. So, we appreciate all that are going to watch. We appreciate all the questions that are going to be asked. I am here for about 45 minutes to an hour. Let's conversate. We are live on Facebook. And we are live on YouTube. If you got any burning questions, feel free to ask. And don't be shy. You can ask as many questions as you like. We are a dog training company out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, but we serve the entire United States. We've had dogs that come all the way from Nebraska, all the way from Georgia to train with us. So, yeah. We serve the entire U.S. So, if you guys are just joining in, we are on YouTube and we are on Facebook Live. If for some reason one connection is not so good for you guys, go to the other platform. All right, my YouTube is Majors Academy Dog Training and Rehabilitation, and my Facebook is the exact same. So, join, ask questions, ask as many as you like. All right. Well, hey, might as well get into it. All right. Let's see here. Okay. First question. Do you have any recommendations on how to select the right kind of... This question's from Amanda. Do you have any recommendations for how to select the right kind of training for your dog? Are there right circumstances that you feel better cater to certain types of training tools than others? I have heard suggestions from clicker training to pinch collar. Thanks. All right, hold on a second. This is going to be a long-winded question, so bear with me. Okay. All right, Amanda. It doesn't appear that you have specified the what your challenges are for your dog, and that, I think, is most important. Being that if you have a dog that is giving you challenges, behavior problems, then I would say behavior modification, you'd want to choose a trainer who is sort of a balanced trainer. And what balanced training means is a trainer that can use all tools, not just treats, right? But they sort of have a balance of adversive tools and dog training treats. And so if you're looking for, that's behavior modification, right? If your dog is acting bad and or fearful or aggressive, that's where I would go. Now, if you want to teach your dog tricks, if you want to teach your dog, just really basic obedience, then a food trainer or a clicker trainer, you may do some good things with that. That's and for puppies, that's really good for them too. So, again, it really mostly depends on what you're looking for, what your challenges are, and that would determine which way you want to go as far as what type of training you like. You know what I mean? All right. Thank you for your question. Okay. Next question comes from Lex. Hi, Jeremy. We recently moved to a new house that was previously occupied by another dog. Life was crazy for a while, so we definitely have been working hard to get structure back for Miss Luna. But we're still having some issues with peeing in the house and just destroying random things. For instance, she chewed through a cardboard box last night after getting her bag of treats off of a 4-foot ledge. This all happened downstairs where she had to hurdle a 4-foot baby gate at the top of the stairs to even get down there. We're implementing structure with the place command, walks, and e-collar at all times. What are we missing? Thanks for your help. What I would do is go back to crating her if you can. Anytime you move to a new or a different situation, that the structure is going to definitely have to be on point, okay? And try to remember that because she's such an anxious dog, try to be indifferent as far as your praise for her. You want her to experience what she needs to experience without you, or without your support in the form of praise. Because that can sometimes, hey Darren, how are you? That can also sometimes promote that sort of mischievous behavior. So I would go back to creating all the way back to basics. You know, anytime my dogs mess up in the house, you know, they gotta be in the crate for the next week or so, because first of all, it makes me angry, but secondly, it's just, you know, letting them realize that, you know, this is a new environment. This is and we've got to sort of go back to square one as far as structure goes. Now, as far as the peeing in the house goes, you want to make sure, if you haven't, that the floors are clean as possible. There could be that extra scent, and it'll go away. You know, she'll stop doing that eventually. But I know if it's carpet, it's got to be a pain. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would definitely just take her all the way back. You know, it wouldn't matter if it was a new place or not. If my dog was peeing in the house, then I'd put him back in the crate for a while. And there'd be no free time in the house except for the place command. So try that for about a month and see what you get. All right, thank you for your question. Feel free to ask another one. All right, guys, those of you who just joined in, whether it's on YouTube and whether it's on Facebook, feel free to ask questions. Ask as many as you like. Let's have a conversation. Any dog training questions you want, it doesn't matter. We are here and we're answering questions all night long. I just sent home 2 dogs today, a German Shepherd and a Pit Bull. One was for dog aggression, the other was for human aggression. And here was a good thing. What's up, Michael? What's going on, man? Here was one of the things that we worked on, and it was kind of cool to realize, is that the dog needed to be okay with needed to learn to be okay with the brush and the muzzle. And the entire time the dog was here, we did not work on that whatsoever. We worked on that while the owners were here for the first time. And I did that specifically because I wanted to show the owners what it may look like so that they could work through it. Work through the dog's defiance. Okay? So if a dog is biting you or sassy because of nails, because of brushing of the hair, or because of petting, I wanted to be able to show those people what the dog may do and how to correct it if the dog would do it, in order to get them to learn how to handle that. Cheers, Amy. So again, the dog was aggressive if you brushed the dog and put the muzzle on. We did both for the first time today. After 3 weeks with being with me, we did both. And there wasn't even one attempt to bite at all. Why? Because it's not about the particular situation. It's about the dog's overall perspective of you. If the dog has a respectful relationship of you, then the dog will not bite. Now listen, that doesn't mean a domineering respectful. When I say respectful, it doesn't mean domineering. It doesn't mean I'm overwhelming the dog. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. It means that our balance is there. Because if I would send the dog in a total fearful mindset, the dog would still bite me. So I always tell people this: if I'm too hard on the dog is going to bite me, and if I'm too soft, the dog is going to bite me. So you gotta find that balance. And once you get that, sky's the limit with what you can do with your dog. All right, and it's going to vary from dog to dog on how much you can give in order to keep them humble. But it was kind of cool that they saw that I was able to put the muzzle on and brush the dog for the first time, but after 3 weeks with me, the dog did not try and bite me once. And meanwhile, the dog would do that to them after living with them for years. So it's not about what the situation is that in specific. more so than the respectful relationship you have with your dog. All right. Thank you for your question. Wait, that wasn't a question. That was a statement. Okie dokie. We got some questions coming in live, coming in hot. All right. Whoa! Holy smokes. Okay, let's see. Where do we start? This question is Rachel's question. We're driving home right now and wondering if you would allow a dog while in his place or crate to have a deer antler or other toy to keep him occupied. Yes, that's fine. I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. I mean, as long as it doesn't entitle the dog to get up or not listen or bark or anything like that, see if it works for you. See if your dog can handle it. That's totally fine. All right, thank you for your question. Feel free to ask another one. Thanks. All right, place command on a whole new level with Benny, the Weimaraner. He would get antsy and jump/bite at my daughter's coat and backpack every morning when she left for school. 2 days of place in his open crate, and now he puts himself in at every 6:15 in the morning without a word from me, 4 minutes before she leaves. That is awesome. He knows the deal. You know, I've got a dog that is exactly like that dog today. Actually, if you scroll down, there's a dog that reminds me of Benny so much. His name is Remington, and if you scroll down, the picture that has the Thirsty Thursdays on there, it will have him, his paw will be in my hand. Like, that's Benny to a T. Okay? All right, I know I got more questions in this. I hope I'm not missing it. Maybe not. All right. Michael says, no respect for an owner. Ran into an old client that clearly wasn't happy. Her leash reactive dog got worse, right? But when I met her, I was with 2 dogs and nothing happened. She claims it's because I was there. Well, I'll tell you this. You know, sometimes some people don't want the problem to be solved. They'd rather get what they want out of the relationship with their dog versus actually doing what they need to do and get in order to get the dog to progress. So those people will exhaust you if you let them. There's no solution. There's no right answer. There's no amount of training that will work for some people. They have to take responsibility, and most of the time they won't. So if you're dealing with that, I feel for you on that one, because that's a tough situation. A lot of rescue organizations, you know, not everyone, but a lot of them have that mindset as well. And my new rule with working with rescues, I got one condition. If I don't have people to work with, I'm not working with the dog. Period. I can't. If I don't have people that are dedicated to a dog, then I can't work with that dog. It's going to be a waste of time, money. They're going to be frustrated. I'm going to be frustrated because the dog's going to go back to the behavior. They're going to be frustrated because they think they wasted their money. So I need people to learn what I have to teach them in order to make it a successful adventure or whatever. And that's my fault, though. I'm nervous. Jeremy isn't. Oh, no, we're not talking about you, Christine. But you are nervous. Good, man. That is a great rule. Learning how to say no is very, very tough. But necessary. Kim says, Dozer's back to the e-collar. Hard to enforce outside, but he has taken to marking in the house again, trying to hump Daisy, which he has seriously not done since the first month we got her 4 years ago. Do you think that a female in heat nearby could be causing this ridiculous out of the blue behavior, or me being out of town this last weekend? I wouldn't rule any of it out. Yeah, all of that could be a possibility. Hell, my dog just humped my female for the first time before she was spayed, and I was like, that's odd. Why are you humping this dog? And, I don't know. I don't know if spaying totally diminishes every effect of a heat cycle. I don't know. I still think that females in some form or fashion can put out maybe pheromones or whatever that male dogs can sense. I may be totally wrong about this. I'm no vet, but it was weird to me that my dog started to hump my female, and he hasn't done that for a long time. So I'm going to say I don't know. And I apologize. Alrighty. Let's see. Training Toby. We got our first question out of YouTube. Training Toby the out command for guarding food bowl. Any suggestions for when he gets item and runs off with it and guards it? Not too aggressive about it, but don't want it to get worse. So yeah, there's a couple of ways you can help that. One of the things that you can do is, I just posted a video of a tool called the Doggy Don't, and the Doggy Don't would be pretty good with teaching the out. So when or drop it or leave it. So when you're teaching a dog something and they're not taking your word for it, you have to add that extra tool to get them to really realize that you mean business, right? And so it's on YouTube. It's called the Doggy Don't. That may help. It just makes a loud noise. It goes and you could say out and press that button at the same time. That may get the dog to drop whatever it's guarding. Or you could go back to e-collar, because it doesn't matter where the dog goes, the e-collar is going to be on them. So that could probably potentially help with that whole thing. But you could even start with a low value item, which means a toy, a ball, or something like that, and teach that out. And if you stick with that long enough, then the dog will start to out anything you want. So that would be my approach if it's a mild situation. Why don't you just really make sure every time you say out, drop it or leave it, when it's a low valued item to the dog, that he does it, and try that. But if that doesn't work, you may have to add a pet convincer, a Doggy Don't, or an e-collar to get the dog to realize that when you say something, the dog is to actually do what you want. All right. Thank you for your question. Feel free to ask another one. All right. Daisy has terrible ear infection right now, so she's not tolerating him. Dang. I'm sorry, Kim. You went out of town and all kinds of stuff started to happen, huh? Well, get that. I hope the ear infection clears up soon. All right. Hey, Jeremy. I have a fetch foster dog, Charlie, who came to me about 6 weeks ago. You saw him at a seminar you did with us about 6 months ago. He was the small, fluffy black dog who wanted to thrash and bite anytime a man wanted to touch him or want to pick him up. Well, we've made a ton of progress since he's been with me. I'm building up commands like place to give him more confidence in general, and doing lots of walks in busy areas like pet stores. He still takes a very long time to warm up to men, though, and can get very spooked by them at times. I don't live with any men, so he doesn't have a ton of exposure, except when I invite people over, which I do regularly. Anytime he's meeting a man, I'm sure to use lots of positive reinforcement and anytime he shows bravery with them. I'm wondering if you have any other ideas or things to try and increase the comfort level. Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Listen, it's going to take a lot of time now. It's going to take a lot of time. You know, whatever happened in this past, you know, it probably didn't take too well to mend. So it's okay. Take your time. Keep doing what you're doing. As long as the situation doesn't result in the situation he thinks that it could possibly result in, then you're on your way. You know, it may take a year. It may take an entire year for him to warm up completely to all people. But that's awesome about the progress you've made. Now, what I would say is try this. The next time he does warm up, try not giving so much praise or positive reinforcement and see how that affects him. See if it makes a difference. Because sometimes too much positive reinforcement can keep them nervous. Sometimes ignoring the dog is more powerful than acknowledging the dog in certain situations. Because when you acknowledge a dog in a certain situation every single time, they could possibly build an association, a negative association with that in that certain scenario. So sometimes the attitude of, all right, cool, totally it leaves a much better impression on a dog. For example, when I bring in an aggressive dog in my, or a dog aggressive dog to my place, I have my dogs out in the yard. The first impression of that aggressive dog towards my dogs is, what the hell? Because they don't mind the dog whatsoever. But the dog is actually expecting them to react based on just the presence of the dog that I'm bringing in, right? So normally, if my dogs weren't trained, I'd bring in the fearful dog, and what would those other dogs do? They'd come right on up, right? That's expectation. But if the dogs don't do anything, then the dog is left in a sort of confused state at first, and the dog eventually is in more of an accepted mindset much quicker because of the indifference of my dog. So I would say, again, try that. Try expecting that the dog can do it. Because some dogs are held back by too much attention from the people they know or the people they live with. All right? Give it a shot. Thank you for your question. And thank you for your work, too. I appreciate that. You guys have the best foster program on the planet. I didn't miss it. Oh, wait. You asked another one? Hey, Jeremy, I have a foster. Oh, no, wait. I make sure lots of positive reinforcement. I'm wondering if you have. Yeah. Okay, I got that. Good. All right, folks. Those of you who just joined YouTube and Facebook, ask me some questions. Otherwise, I'll go back to my my emails. But you guys definitely have the priority, okay? So if you ask a question live and I'm answering a question from my email, I'll stop, answer your question first. Because you guys are special. You're watching live. Okay, let's see. Wait a minute. There we go. Uh-oh. Got a question. Where'd that go? Oh, hi, Cassandra. Hey, Jeremy, what do you suggest for an excitable leash reactive dog? Where do I start to help reduce this? Oh, man. Awesome question. All right, Cassandra. The first thing you want to do is make sure your dog is walking on the leash right. When you have a dog that's leash reactive, that just tells you that you have to dictate more than the dog does on the walk. You have to dictate more than the dog does on the walk. The dog should not be walking you. You should be walking the dog, okay? So that means when you take your dog for a walk, take him out in the backyard if you've got one. Let him pee and poop. Now, once you've done that, do not let the dog pee and poop on the walk anymore. Don't let him sniff. Don't let him pee. Don't let him poop. Just walk. Okay? And in order to get that good walk, though, you may have to have a certain tool. And one of the best and easiest, most effective tools is the Hermspringer prong collar. Now, I don't know what kind of tools you're working with, so I'm going to explain it from ground zero so that you can get all of it. All right? Make sure, if you don't have a prong collar, that you get one. And the type matters too. Hermspringer prong collar is the type that you would get, and make sure it's fitted right. Now, so, okay, we're going to start with that. Go get the Hermspringer prong collar. And then once you get that, watch my video on YouTube on, there's a couple of them, on how to fit the prong collar properly, and then how to walk video. I have a how to walk video in order to reduce your leash reactive dog. Because when a dog's leash reactive, it's telling you, I need to advocate for myself because I don't feel safe in this situation. But when you walk your dog the way that we do, then you're telling your dog that you don't have to react that way. I got you, right? So you're then advocating for the dog. So again, Hermspringer prong collar. It's a German brand. You can get it on Amazon for about 18 bucks, depending on the size of your dog. If your dog is a medium-sized dog, then get a medium-sized collar. Okay, but make sure you're walking your dog the correct way. All right, watch those videos I have on YouTube, and it'll make a big difference. All right, let me know how it goes. Keep me updated. Next week, tune in and let me know how it goes. All right, thank you. Oh, she said, I've been watching your videos, and I do use the Hermspringer prong collar as you suggested. It has helped a lot, but she still goes crazy when she sees a dog or person. She tends to ignore the crazy. Okay, Cassandra. Now, this is another great question. Now that you've used the Hermspringer prong collar and you see it doesn't work, now we have to add another tool. All right, let me ask you this. Have you tried the pet convincer or the doggy don't? The doggy don't is what I would prefer first, but then if that doesn't work, you could try the pet convincer. And then lastly, if those two don't work, which they very well may work, then you can try an e-collar. But try those two in addition to the prong collar. Try the doggy don't or the pet convincer. Again, I just posted up. I have videos on both tools. Make sure you make sure you watch those to make sure you're using them correctly, because that matters. All right. Thank you for your question. Feel free to ask another one. All right. Last week, YouTube was going nuts. All right, folks. Anybody on Facebook Live, you guys want to answer questions or ask questions, you can ask as many as you want. I don't care how good you think you are, because we will rock you. Okay. We've tried the pet convincer, not much luck. Try the doggy don't. I hate to, fill you up with all these tools, but some dogs really respond to that very well. All right. The doggy don't could be the answer. If not, if after you try the doggy don't, come back, let me know. We'll figure it out. All right. Thank you for watching. Y'all know, if you guys ask me, I'll give you all the time I want. My only request is that we try to figure it out. And once we try to figure it out, or in the process of figuring out, I will work with you, and I'll, people know that I'm not going to nickel and dime you whatsoever. Am I familiar with? Hold on a second. Where'd that go? What the hell? Okay, are you familiar with Solid Canine training? I just saw a video about getting a dog to stop jumping on people in 3 seconds using a quick side pull on the leash. Should this be done with a prong on? I want to try it, but I want to do it the correct way. Any suggestions? Yes, Amy, the owner of Solid Canine Training, is a very good friend of mine and a business mentor. The guy's a business genius. His name is Jeff Gelman. Solid Canine Trainer, long hair, with glasses and the goofy shoes on. Yeah, I would try anything he suggests because he is the man. Jeff is awesome. So I'm glad you found him because he has really cool techniques, things that, you know, are different than me. And that's what it's about, learning all that cool stuff. So, yeah, I would definitely try it, see if it works. No problem. Okay? I appreciate it. All right. Okay. I don't dance. No way. We've tried the pet commissioner, not much luck. Oh, I've already answered that. Okay. What you say? E-collar. I find the e-collar isn't effective for reactivity. However, the prong and doggy don't. Well, that may be your dog there, Nancy. But I tell you what, your dog comes to me, I'll have all of it effective because it's not about the tool more so than about the relationship. If you are scared that your dog is going to bite you, if you're scared at all, then the dog is going to pick up on that and be able to manipulate the situation. All right? So I guarantee you, what you just need to do is come up here and or answer the phone when I call you. And I bet you we can figure out some things because I know you're quite anxious about some things and I want to help you before your family comes. All right, so make sure you answer that phone. All right, Matt says, some additional clarification for Luna peeing in the new house. Kindling Luna during the day is not an option. Oh, that's right. She's a potty and escape artist. She's a bratty potty and escape artist. Anything we can do while we're gone during the day. Yes, you're going to have to crate her. I don't care. So this is what you're going to have to do. And I think we went over this, but you have to crate the dog while you're there. So the dog should spend some time in the crate while you're there. Because if she's a brat, and then you eliminate the brattiness, you eliminate the escape artist. She was here. She has the ability to do it. She did not escape out of my place. So you have to crate her while she's there. So while you're there, and while she's in the house, she should be in a crate. That's when you can eliminate any and all brattiness. Now remember, crate protocol is very important, which means never, I'm just going to go over it, never talk to her in the crate. When you open the crate, she should stay there until she's calm and hold herself. Okay? Feed her in the crate. Do all those things. If you can get her to be okay in the crate, if you can eliminate the sassiness in the crate, you will eliminate the escape artist in the crate as well. If you need to borrow a really good crate, come get one. I'll let you borrow one. I'll let you borrow the Alcatraz crate. The dog needs to be able to be comfortable in the crate, and then a lot of the problems will go away. All right? Let me know. I hope everything's okay in you guys' new place, man. I'm happy for you guys. Hope the new job is also going well. Okay. Let's see. And that's my fault. New rule. Are you familiar? I find the e-collar, blah, blah, blah. Some additional. All right. I got them all caught up. Let's see. Question from my email. Look at that, boy. All right. I purchased the mini educator. Cheers, Matt. I purchased the mini educator for my dogs. Though on my German Shepherd puppy, almost 6 months old, it doesn't seem to faze him when I give a correction. The collar seems pretty snug. Any advice? Yes. So what you want to do is make sure the contact is okay. First and foremost, if your e-collar has long prongs, put the long prongs on the e-collar. Some of them come with short ones, and with Any long-haired dog, you want to switch the long hair to you want to switch the short prongs to long prongs, and then if the dog has a lot of hair on the neck, you may have to brush a little bit to get some clarity up in there, because the German Shepherds can get all frizzy and stuff up there. So you want to make sure you can brush so they can get in some, and sometimes you can even cut down some hair, some trim it a little bit, right? You can do a little trim, do a little trim, and so that the e-collar can make some good contact. That's what I would do. Okay. Thank you for your question. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Asking for a dog friend. How do I handle excessive stress drooling in the car? So there's a lot of dogs that come to me that are stressful about the car. And the best way, in my opinion, to help that situation, the dog's mind has to be occupied with something other than what's stressing them out. And that goes with everything, right? If we allow our dogs to just do what they want in the car, we are then allowed for the dog to act and feel and do and whatever in the car. We can't allow that, especially if you have a dog that's nervous. Especially if you have a dog that's nervous, anxious, fearful, or aggressive in any way. Give that dog something to do, to occupy its mind, to think about something else, because that's what's going to take over the anxiousness. Obedience trumps all. All right? So give that dog something to do so that it can actually be guided to a more comfortable way of being in the car. You just don't want the dog to just be anxious all the time. That creates a whole bunch of problems, not only mentally but physically. So I know cars are tough. Cars are tough for a lot of dogs because, you know, we want to have that dog that sticks his head out the window and, but that's not all what it's cracked up to be for a lot of dogs. We sit outside and we look behind us and around us just like you do at your window there. Oh. Is that why Petey looks around? I don't know. I just told some people, though, that I was working with that the dog could not be on the couch because the dog would bark out the window. And for a whole month, try it out. Try not allowing the dog to have that type of freedom in the house. Because if the dog is barking in the house and out people in the window, that's telling you that the dog is insecure in some way, or bored, or didn't have its exercise. But I'm pretty sure the people that I work with do get out with their dogs. So if a dog is barking, it almost, in a way, is telling you it needs you there to do something, to guide them in some certain way. So the rule of thumb with me and my dogs is when we're inside, they're not doing a lot of free roam, if any. Especially if we're eating, they're on their bed. They're not in the kitchen. They're not up and at them, and none of that. When I'm ready to give them affection, I go over there for that. But they're not all up in my face. They're not demanding attention. They're not demanding that we play ball or anything like that. It's none of that in the house. If they want to do that, then they're going to go outside. But for the most part, because I want calm energy in the house when guests come over, I have to have calm energy in the house when there's no guests that come over. So yeah, that's about it. All right, guys, if anybody doesn't have any more questions, please I don't mind asking or answering any questions you got. I don't even care if it has to do with your mama's dog. I'll answer those questions. So if you don't, let me know. I'm going to answer one more question from the email. And then we're going to go. Let's see. I purchased... Oh, no. I already answered that one. Hi, Jeremy. I have a female GSD that's fear aggressive with dogs and some humans. Okay. So, what I would do is keep the dog away from humans for a while, at a distance, not avoiding, but at a distance. Don't let humans touch her. Yeah, don't let humans touch her for a while. And if she's fear aggressive with dogs, then you have to make sure you get that dog with balanced dogs. And you also have to be there for the dog and correct the dog if it would become sassy for no reason or for an unjust reason, which means if a regular dog just comes up to that that fearful female, and the female goes off, correct the female, because you have to teach the dog right from wrong, but you also have to cater to their fear a little bit. So again, everyone thinks that their dog has to meet 1,000 people to be socialized. That's just not true. You just have to meet a small amount of good ones. Again, the best way to raise a dog when it comes to people is to have the dog be indifferent to people. You're going to avoid a lot of problems or a lot of issues. Jumping, barking, and biting are the three main. But if your dog sort of treats people how, those service dogs that you see treat people, then it's awesome because they kind of just ignore them, So sometimes I'll put a vest on a dog that I don't want people to even attempt to come up and try and touch. I'll put the vest on that says, "Do not pet," or, training, or something like that. That gets people to stay away. And a lot of dogs need people to stay away for long enough. And for long enough until they're comfortable with it. But that takes a long time. And a lot of people underestimate that. So it's not about meeting 1,000 different people. It's just about meeting the right type of people. It's quality over quantity. So, all right, guys, that's it. I'm wrapping it up. I'm out of beer. I'm wrapping it up. So if you liked what I said, give me a thumbs up. YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, we'll see you guys next week, and I appreciate the support. This is awesome. I hope it helped. All right? You guys have a good one. Bye.